Welcome to Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast, where we're beaming into yet another shitstorm. I'm Lars.
And I'm Patrick. And if we don't get an Ortegas episode in a couple ones, we riot, folks. 'Cause I need some Ortegas. More Ortegas!
More Ortegas. Not Ortegas, more Ortegas. In this 7th episode of the 7th and final season of Treknicity, we present to you a recap of the 5th episode of Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds entitled Lost in Translation.
Yeah, too bad I didn't have a 7 and 7 ready for this episode, because then I could be drunk, too.
What do you think this is? The frickin' Lonely Landy Party? Or, sorry, excuse me, not even that. The Doomed Away Team. Either way, take your pick.
This is a good show. Nobody gets that, and that's the point.
That's
and
the
if
point.
they do get it, Q.
Yeah, you know you are.
You
know who you are.
Yes, you know who you are.
All right, let's crack this egg open and let's get your your 2-minute super synopsis.
Yeah, I'm good. I got to get the 2 minutes off there because it is never 2 minutes.
I say I don't think you get.
It's a half an hour.
I don't think you get 2 minutes out of like the first point on the list.
Yes, I could. I get a joke in there. I got jokes in there anyway. So
maybe I should time you. Maybe I should just say just speed read the entire list and go.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, and a reminder from this point forward, we're going into spoiler territory. So the previously on, we get a little bit about everybody except frickin' Ortegas. Seriously, I'm getting a little pissy about this because everybody else is getting shit. I better go on with this because I'm not going to let it go, am I?
No, you're not.
I should sing a song about that.
No.
So
absolutely not.
So our communications officer, Uhura, gets to give us our week's log. The Enterprise is sent to the Steve Bannon's Nebula. Okay, not Steve, just Bannon's Nebula. It's a stellar nursery, and it's a great new outpost they built for deuterium mining. Of course, it's not working. We get Pike has now in command of the station and the Farragut.
Ooh, so he temporarily gets a fleet captain.
Yes, they keep congratulating him. Those temporary. Also, it happens to be near Gornton territory, so that makes it more fun. And apparently, they break out the Bustard Collectors, and it's cool.
Yeah, it actually looks cool this time because they like open up, they go, and like.
Yep.
And
suck it, Kirk. Oh, wait a minute. That's later in the episode. And boy, and we're gonna have to say Jim, and we're gonna have to say Jim because there's more than one Kirk in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we cut to Uhura, who's on their station on the bridge. She starts hearing some weird sounds. So and at some point she decides to go down and solve this because she's hearing something and she's not sure what it is. So she ends up down. We're digging with the comm systems, and she's got instructions left to her by Hemmer. So yay, Hemmer's back.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting more screen. Dead Hemmer is getting more screen time than Ortegas in this episode.
I tell you what, that's my new band name, Dead Hammer.
Yeah, it gets better. So Pelia comes in, Buster chops a little because it's Pelia. Of course, then we continue on the recording a little bit, and Hemmer's, he's also giving her some shit because it's Hemmer.
So just quickly on Pelia, what are you thinking of Carol Kane as the chief engineer? I mean,
she's glorious in every scene.
Yeah, it's so funny because I love Carol Kane. I mean, I loved her in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and so very eccentric and wonderful to watch. But watching her as Pelia, I didn't know really quite what to think of her. And I think I mentioned this in either like the last episode or the episode before that. Just not really sure what to make of her. But It's
fucking
so
fun.
funny. I mean, she's glorious. Every time she shows up, you're just like, shenanigans are going to ensue. She's gonna stir somebody's pot.
So yeah, yeah. So after she gets done messing with Uhura a little bit, Uhura finally gets done with what she's doing, decides to go back to the bridge, and we get Zombie Hammer after the sound,
Ooh.
of course. And we get our credit roll.
Okay. So Dead Hammer is not my new band name, then Zombie Hammer is. But that would be more like a new metal band, or maybe like a tribute band to, like, Motorhead or something like that.
And everybody does blue face paint and Andorian wigs with antennae.
Oh damn, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. I didn't know that Blueface could be the new racist.
We're not going there. No. We're not going there. Blueface, not any other color that starts with blue. Please no. Okay.
Okay.
So after we get our credit roll, we cut immediately to sick bay where Mbenga is telling Uhura that you don't have to worry about it. It's a hallucination. There was some deuterium poisoning. Also, this whole thing about lack of sleep for you. So no duty for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word because it just gets such a negative connotation. You can't even say it ironically. But yeah, we all know what character you're referencing.
Yeah, of course. Meanwhile, on the array, Una and Pelia are sparring over fixing the array. Una's giving her orders, and Pelia's doing Pelia things. Because, yeah. But we'll find out what's going on with their relationship. Uhura's, of course, trying to sleep, and she can't. I will say, though, from her first season where she had cadet quarters, she's got nicer quarters now.
Of course, she's an officer.
She has hallucinations of something over a hill burning, and it's like, oh, wonder what that is. After, of course, the sound. So that was fun. Wonder what the whole burning thing was. We'll find out. So we cut to the transporter room where James T. Kirk beams on and greets his brother Sam Kirk. So, yeah, we got the Kirk brothers for the first time. At least with them both alive.
I was to say, that just sounds stupid because it's like another K brothers that come to mind. These ones are, I suppose, less controversial.
Yep. Okay, so they go, of course, and go have a drink. We find out that Jim Kirk is now going to become the youngest first officer in the fleet on the Farragut, which means he's beating out his father, George
Kirk,
who was first officer, the USS Kelvin.
So that, unfortunately, that officially makes the Abrams-verse movies canon.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn it!
They've
two of them.
Canon. We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And at least we get a nod, and George Kirk is still alive, so we're still in Prime Universe. We don't have to deal with all that Kelvin timeline bullshit.
Sure. Well, the funny thing is that this actually tracks. This tracks with previously established canon from the original series, because the one thing that stood out is that James T. Kirk was technically the youngest starship captain. When he took over captain of, I think he becomes captain of the Farragut before he becomes captain of the Enterprise. Maybe not. If I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me. But either way, he becomes the youngest captain in Starfleet history at the age of, wait for it, 35. 35.
And then that'll be, of course, after Pike gets all melty face.
Yep, Captain Melty Face.
Yes. So they're going back and forth on each other because, of course, Jim Kirk's the great son of George Kirk, and Sam's this weird ass scientist. So little brother fighting. So hopefully they'll hug it out or beat the shit out of each other.
I want to see him get in the Ambo Jitsu ring. Oh wait, that's wrong series.
Yep. No, they go fly to Vulcan and get some lurpers and start was to get the music again. And they
That's
fight.
right. We need the music. We just need to come up. We need them to come up with any excuse they can to go back to Vulcan or have Vulcan fighting or conflict in any way, so we can get the Vulcan fight music.
Yep. Either way, that's what happens with them. Meanwhile, we're all back on the array. Pelia, after pissing Una off for just ignoring her orders and dicking with things, finds evidence of sabotage. This, by the way, was the clip that was shown on, on the Ready Room with Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton?
So, kind of knew this was coming.
Will Wheaton.
And we're froze up. Shit.
We are?
Yep. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Sorry. It froze up for a moment. It was like, uh-oh, am I offline?
Uh-oh, Jenny, I froze up. I'm not a smart podcaster, Jenny. Oh, man. Could you, sorry, as a small aside, could you imagine Forrest Gump as captain of the USS Jenny? I'm not a smart man. I flew that ship right into those Klingons. But they never knew what hit them because I could fly like the wind blows. Sorry, I will stop. Please carry on.
So we get a scene where Spock and Chapel are kind of half flirting, half discussing their relationship over 3D chess. But
I'm sure he wants to check her mate, or mate her check, whatever. Either way,
Uhura interrupts. She's got some theories because she obviously heard those sounds before the deuterium poisoning, so that couldn't be it. So they're not sure. So she decides to go get a drink, and of course, Jim Kirk's sitting there, and he kind of talks with her, and she figures out that he might be flirting, so she cock blocks him.
So that's the second Kelvin timeline movie reference. Because, of course, anybody who's seen the 2009 Star Trek movie knows that Uhura did this very same thing to then pre-Academy assignee Kirk when they're in Iowa.
Yeah, fair enough. And then gets pissed at him again when he crawls out from under the bed of one of her roommates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, that's because Kirk's a man whore. He's always been. He always will be.
That's right.
So, cut to our next hallucination, because Uhura's going to keep doing this. She's on a deck full of dead people. And then, of course, she has to fight herself. And then she eventually managed to get the upper hand and punches herself out. Oops, no, that was Jim Kirk.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't get to see her actually bash him. We only get to cut to the aftermath of him laying on the ground, bleeding, his nose bleeding like a little bitch.
Yeah, because we know Jim Kirk's a little bitch. Okay, I'm sorry, that's Shatner. Okay. Of course, Kirk takes advantage of the injury and her striking a superior officer to probe her for stories, what's going on with this whole hallucination, and wants to tag along and help her.
Sure he does. He wants to help. And for those only listening, I'm winking.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Una and Pelia still on the race, searching for the saboteur, and they find him. He seems to be a little knucking futz. I don't even remember his name, but yeah, he seems to be seeing things and talking to himself and kind of crazy. Speaking of crazy, unless you want to add something there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Speaking of crazy, over in Uhura Land, the ship goes to red alert. She makes her way to the bridge, gets to her station, only to watch the view screen crack, explode, and everybody else get flung out into the space. And then Pike asks her, "What are you doing on the bridge?" Because
you're supposed to be on leave.
Another hallucination. So we get to sick bay. They're interrogating the interrogating Lieutenant Crazy. He starts hallucinating, slices Mbega, and takes off on a run. So, obviously, everybody except Mbanga pours out of sick bay to chase after him.
You know, I'm going to say there's one opportunity they really missed there. They missed the opportunity to get the banjo music playing to chase him.
Well, he runs off, and they grab phasers, and they start following.
More pew pew, less QQ.
Yeah. For some reason, Uhura and Jim Kirk are moving down the hallway trying to track him. When she starts hallucinating again, she kind of feels like it's claustrophobic, things are closing in, and then gets pulled out of it. She decides, I'm gonna go back to sick bay. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. But the others continue following the trail till they run up, and Lon seems to know Jim Kirk by name easily. Maybe a little sexual tension there, because yeah.
Little. Yeah, she wants him to Noonie and her sing.
Yeah. And she's only in here for a scene or so, but she still gets more time than Ortegas.
Yep. They better be building up to a good finale or a good Ortegas-based episode.
I think we get more Chapel and Spock than we do Ortegas, and they're kind of sidelined for this episode pretty much.
Yep.
So, Uhura, of course, kind of being not right in the head, manages to track Lieutenant Crazy, tries to talk him down, finds him in the port cell, tries to talk him down, but he triggers something as they fight, but Kirk shows up, points a weapon, grabs Uhura, calls for emergency beam out. They beam out, the port cell explodes, and phew, Crazy Dude goes a-flying.
Yep, here comes the frozen berry out in space.
Yep, that was quick. So for some reason they couldn't beam him out. I don't know why. But
because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah. Plus, killing him kind of gets him out of the way, so we can focus on the other characters that aren't Ortegas. So Uhura is talking to Pike about this. She asks to be confined to her quarters because she's definitely going loopy. But of course, she's not going to do that because why would she do that? But Pike gets the opportunity to decrypt all the logs of Lieutenant Crazy so that they can investigate what's going on further. So we cut to the outside where Jim Kirk and Lon get to actually meet in person officially for the first time rather than just kind of running into each other. And they discuss George Kirk, and Jim does a bit of the flirt.
Of course he does. He's a man whore.
Yes. Yeah. I do wonder if they're going to bang.
I'm telling you, there's gonna be something like, check it out, homeboy fucked a Martian once. I love it.
Or homeboy fucked a Noonie and sing.
Yeah, that too.
So we cut back. Una and Peli are still fighting with each other. I think Una calls Peli a space hippie. They're just going back and forth because, I don't get why these two don't like each other.
I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah. Not a stupid reason, Una. Yeah. Speaking of not stupid, Uhura, of course, figures out that whatever was going on with him is going on with her, and she's kind of going to Crazy Town. And she's also admits to Kirk that she's been using a work to avoid facing the death of her family and Hemmer. And at that point, Kirk leaves her to go and get some cookies. Literally.
Hope he doesn't toss them.
Not synthesized ones.
Exactly.
So we get Uhura watching more of the Hemmer vid. And, of course, being Uhura, she figures out, they're trying to communicate with me. Because I'm a communications officer, and I know the communication shit.
Well, I think a lot of that comes down to it's that the part of her brain that processes language, and because they are actually playing this Uhura much like the classical non-Star Trek 6 Uhura, where she is a bona fide polyglot.
Yes. Yeah, basically there's talks to Jim, and they go to Sam Kirk because he's got a theory that it might be extra-dimensional creatures. And she figures out they're using her as a universal translator to try to stop the refinery as it's killing the shit out of them.
Yep, these aliens they found are stuck in the deuterium. They live in the deuterium, which kind of raises a whole different question. Remember, the Enterprise went flying through on a joyride, scooping it up and using it for fuel. Whoops. Sorry.
Which they cut back to all the flashbacks. She realizes Hemmer represented what they're feeling, the claustrophobia, desperation to get out.
Yep.
And dead bodies all over the deck. And we find out that the shuttle, the one scene we saw with the burning wreckage is actually her family's shuttle.
Yep.
Which she ends up already on it and faces that down as she and Jim Kirk are trying to get to the bridge. She tells Pike what's going on. And finally we get Ortegas on the screen other than credit.
You know, I with Ortegas, I want to see them modify the bridge so that I got a little gear shifter down by, so she can like put it in. Have you stop? Just you're grinding it.
They already did that in the Apple Store in the first Abramsverse movie. We don't need that.
Oh yeah, true. We don't need yet another Abramsverse reference.
No more JJ shit. Okay. So either way, Pike finally understands what's going on, gives her the call. She calls, they evacuate the array, torpedo the shit out of it, and we get to see Hemmer not zombied going, yeah, biatch.
Zang.
So I guess that's our Hemmer for season 2.
Yeah, they did say he'd be back. They were very specifically cagey about what role he would play. And, of course, they couldn't tell us he'd be back as Hemmer because they'd be like, well, how's he back? He's dead. You can't tell you anything. La, 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 la.
Well, maybe he'll show up a little bit more. Maybe he'll show up in another role.
Well, I don't know. We got what, 5 more episodes to get through?
We still got more Hemmer than we got our tickets in this episode.
Yeah.
Seriously. Okay. So, yay, aliens saved, life is good. We find out, though, that Una is all pissed at Pelia over getting a C in Pelia's class. And also, Pelia points out that, yeah, every time you talk to me, I'm also a reminder of Hemmer, who is dead and got more screen time than Ortegas in this episode. Uhura, of course, realizes that, yeah, I'm the communications officer. This is what I do. Of course, they're going to try to turn me into a universal translator. But she's sitting there talking with Jim Kirk, and of course Sam comes over, and they kind of finally get some resolution to their fighting, and then they start fighting again.
I know it's not specifically Star Trek appropriate, but with the two Kirks and Uhura, I could not help but hear the song "Two Heads Are Better Than One" from the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack. I'm sorry. I know it's definitely not Star Trek.
We're cock blocking that one.
Yep.
But yeah, of course, Jim and Sam start sniping at each other again, and Sam walks off and frustrating. And then guess who points out? Yeah, he's frustrating. It's Spock, and we get the first meeting of James T. Kirk and Spock.
That's not in an Abrams first movie.
And yeah, not the stupid shit from the Abramsverse movie. And they sit down with her. So Spock joins Jim Kirk and Uhura, and we get 3 of the TOS cast finally together as the end credits roll, as the jazz music plays, because fuck that classical shit. We're tired of that.
What you mean? You mean classical music
every
like
other episode of TNG? They crammed fucking classical into it.
That's because they were trying to be refined. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it was a good change. It was definitely a good change.
When Riker decided to be cool and got a beard.
Mm-hmm. Of course he did.
So that's the episode. Yay!
So let's hit the talking points, okay? So this episode is very much an Uhura focused episode where she was having to learn about adjusting to loss, facing death, and of course, being the badass that we know she has always been. I mean, I'm sure.
Badass than Nichelle Nichols Uhura.
Yeah, like Nichelle Nichols, we all know the story that when she was in like after the first season of TOS, she was going to quit the show, but a
fan
certain
convinced her to stay.
a fan insofar that one, Martin Luther King
Wow.
Jr. Sorry, I was the words like I could see the words, but I couldn't say them. But yeah, Martin Luther King Jr.
Told her she had to stay.
Convinced her to stay because her portrayal of a woman of color in a central role of authority was important to the black people, especially in the late 1960s. So yeah, and of course, we have seen. Let's see, we've seen one, two, three. I think Celia Gooding is the third actress to portray Uhura.
Yeah. Live action.
Yeah, I mean, well, any action, period. But yeah, I mean, she still is pretty badass. I mean, and that's not taking anything away from, of course, Nichelle Nichols or Zoe Saldana.
To be fair, she's got the most meat in the script to work with.
I would say, yeah. I mean, in Yiddish terms, she's got chutzpah. Like she is definitely a badass, and that's the cool thing. We get to see, and that's the thing is, I mean, we'll see her advance, hopefully over the period. Like I'm guessing, and it's just surmising here that Strange New Worlds will probably end with either the end of Pike's run, and him becoming Captain Meltyface, but I don't think so because, like, I don't think Kirk knew.
Paramount will pull the plug on them suddenly because they're assholes.
No, it's not like the studios are going to screw over the talent or anything or the writers, but never mind. So onwards.
Or yank the show between its first and second season, Prodigy.
Mm-hmm. They do that. Look, I'm serious. They pull the pin on Strange New Worlds with no good reason, and there's going to be a riot.
Yeah. Time to cancel Paramount Plus forever.
Yeah, and it truly becomes Paramount minus. So moving on, let's talk about the fact that Pike gets a lot of backseat awesome. That's the thing is
for a couple episodes.
Yeah, the dude can fly the show from the back seat.
Yeah.
Because every time he shows up, man, it's like you fall in love with his hair.
Yeah, well, it's Anson Mount's hair. Let's be honest, it's a character of its own, and he's good at just popping in and saying some cool shit, and then stepping out and letting the important characters of the episode continue. And almost everybody gets good screen time except Ortegas.
You're like a dog with a bone, man. It's also kind of like there was a Robot Chicken segment where William Shatner's toupee goes off and commits crimes, and it actually becomes like a secret agent that does assassinations and shit while he's sleeping. I can imagine Anson Mount's hair going off and doing side missions while he's asleep.
Taking out Kirk's toupee. That's what they do.
Anson Mount's hair versus...
We see Kirk's toupee, sniper fire comes, it's killed instantly. We cut to Anson Mount's hair thing.
With a sniper rifle.
Live long and prosper, motherfucker.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. The big thing of this episode, though, it furthered a lot of little relationship moments.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Una and Pelia doing their thing. We got Jim Kirk hanging with Uhura. We got Jim Kirk and Lon got some time. Jim and Sam got some time. And we got a little bit of Spock and Chapel on the side. We got pretty much everybody got something cool to do this episode except for Ortegas.
Again, you're not gonna let that go, are you? Again, you're a dog with a bone.
But yeah, it was cool to see all these characters interact and really find some things. I mean, obviously we got a good helping of James T. Kirk because he was on the ship, but yeah, I was wondering when we were gonna get Jim and Sam together and let them do something.
Well, the only thing that really really got me thinking, and I mean it's not that big of a deal, is now that Kirk and La'an have met, he knows her last name, Noonien Singh. So I wonder how or if that will even come into play when he later on when the events of Space Seed happen when he meets Khan Noonien Singh. Because I mean, that's got to be like that's got to be like one of the most
I fucked
unique.
your ancestor. I fucked your ancestor.
You mean descendant?
Descendant, yeah.
That's the word. Either way, words are hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's almost midnight. I had to get up this morning. I get up tomorrow morning, so
After
late.
midnight.
It's really, really late for me.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up because we want want Ortegas to have her own episode, or at least be featured in an episode before the end of the season. Damn it,
We've got only 2 episodes she could be in. That's the worst part.
Right, because we got episode. So this is episode 6 of Strange New Worlds. So
Right.
we have 7
those
is
old scientists.
which we believe is the Boimler Mariner crossover episode.
Yeah, because that's a reference to Lower Decks, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's got to be the one. And then Ortegas is not going to get the season finale because it's got to be something big.
So it's episodes 8 or 9 that she's in, that she could get featured in.
That she damn well better be featured in. 'Cause I'm gonna have to when I get out there, I'm gonna have to go and kick the shit out of whoever
the showrunner is, yeah.
If
Like,
they're
damn
not on
it.
a picket line.
And of course it's a Kurtzman. This is a Kurtzman. Kurtzman's not the showrunner. Damn it.
I forget off the top of my
It doesn't
head.
matter. But anyways, so yeah. Either way, I'm sure they'll figure something out. If not, there's always season 3.
Yeah, where we might get another original series crew member, other than Kirk and Spock and Uhura.
I'm curious I'm curious to see how long the character of M'Benga stays on the Enterprise, because I don't honestly know how long Leonard McCoy served aboard Enterprise prior to Kirk coming, or if they came on at the same time. So we'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean, they already replaced the Doctor from the Cage with M'Benga, mainly because I think they want because it was an established character, and why not use them?
Yeah, I believe that they're like for the original series episode where No Man Has Gone Before, there was another Doctor. So I mean, if they follow the established pattern, we may not see McCoy until after Kirk becomes captain.
Yeah, very good possibility.
So I don't know. We'll see.
And that'll be after the series is over.
Probably.
Or maybe the end of the series will be James T. Kirk taking command of the Enterprise.
And it'll be Star Trek 2.0.
Yep. But yeah, they're going to cut it there because you're not going to touch the original 5-year mission.
Probably not.
That's sacred territory, and there's still people alive that remember it.
Like us. God, we're old.
Yeah. Yep. Damn, I'm old.
You are, because you turned 50 this year, you fucker. Anyways, that is all we've got for this episode of Treknicity. Thank you for joining us as we talk about all things Star Trek. Please be sure to check us out on our wonderful socials listed right up there. If you look above, they're all right there. And you can also go to our website, redshirtgeeks.tv, where you can see the last 9 years of content.
9 years.
I'm Lars.
I'm Patrick.
And remember to go boldly and to rock out. Rock the fuck out. Just block out. All right? We'll see you next time.